So can you really fund your next bigger house by entering Dunearn House? Can this really be done? Hello everybody, so this is Joanna Tan here, the Millionaire Whisperer. So today, straight to the point, we will be looking at Dunearn House. So Dunearn House, will it stand for don't earn, or would you be earning your next house here? So let's dive in. Today, what we'll be looking at will be fast facts of this property. Why is it a yes, the price metrics, and the last part we will end up why I think it might be a no for some people. Alright, fast fact. Dunearn House made up of 3 developers, freehold, CSC and CQC land. It is in District 11. Land cost 141 PSF PPR. It's made out of 2 blocks of 19-story, 3 blocks of 10-story. These days, they tend to have varying height for the same development, so that apparently it helps in the airflow. We have been seeing this in Lentor. Alright, a total of 380 units, 60% car lots. So if you plan to drive a Porsche over here, then perhaps you may not have place to park your Porsche. Moving along, we only have 2 bed, 3 bed and 4 bed over here. You do not have any 1 bed. So one of the developer is Fraser. One of the last development that they have done is actually Robertson Offers. Currently, Robertson Offers is 60% sold. It is a 999-year lease land. If you are a freehold die-hard fan and you must look at freehold properties only, you can contact us about this development as well. The next developer is actually CQC House. The last development that they have done is actually Ori. Ori currently is 95% sold. We still have units of dual key around. So once again, if you want to see the finishing that this developer is giving, happy to host you at Ori as well. Next, we also have CSC. CSC has done projects like Grand Diamond. And moving on to the architect, we actually have the famous Ong and Ong. We have done a lot of development like Jadescape, Atelier, and landscape specialists. We actually have EcoPlan. We have done property like Park Esta. Okay, moving along to the unit mix, we have a total of 46%, which are 2-bedder over here. 25% made out of 3-bed, and 4-bed we have 29%. I think it's quite a good mix between the own stay and investor category. Okay, coming to the price metrics, given that the land is bought at 1410 PSF PPR, factoring a 20% profit margin and harmonization, I'm expecting that the average per square feet to be 3045 per square feet. So now let's take a look at the 2-bed, 3-bed and 4-bed. What is the likely prices? We also have a slight glimpse of the sizes that we are getting. For the 2-bed, we are expecting that the size would be from a range of 530, which is harmonized, not including your aircon latch, all the way to 680. Using the average price that I used just now, which is 3045 per square feet, I'm expecting the price quantum to be hitting 1.61 all the way to 2.07 for a 2-bed. Moving along to the 3-bed, sizes range start from 870 square feet all the way to 1010 square feet. We are expecting the prices to be hitting 2.65 all the way to 3.07 million. And coming to the king, which is the 4-bed, sizes from 1180 all the way to 1380, we are expecting the prices to be from 3.59 to 4.2 million. Yeah. So now the question is, given that I expect that the average per square feet is going to be almost 3,000 per square feet. So is this price good? Let's take a look at Woodleigh. This land was actually in 2017. Currently, the accepted per square feet in this area for a 3-bed has hit 2923. If I harmonize this PSF, the correct PSF is actually 3127. And in fact, if I prorate Woodleigh land to the current land, right, someone is actually paying almost 3,004 for Woodleigh residents, which is in City Fringe, and now there might be a chance for you to consider Dunearn House at 3,000 per square feet. Okay, so now moving on to another resale, more specifically in the same region, 4th Avenue resale unit. The land lease is actually from 2018. Somebody has paid 2850 per square feet for a 3-bed here. Quite a decent layout, just that the aircon latch is a bit long. If you do a harmonized price for this 4th Avenue unit, somebody has actually paid 3050 per square feet. We prorate the lease, it's actually 3318. Let's take a look at this 3-bed premium in 4th Avenue. What do you think of this layout? The master room actually comes with a bigger balcony and you have an extra study. So, and somebody has paid 3.1 million for this layout. We are expecting better, more efficient layout at Dunearn House. Likely, most of the quantum for the 3-bed will fall within 3 million. Alright, let's take a look at some of the prices that have happened in this same region. Let's take a look at Copa. This somebody has accepted 3.17 mil for this development. PSF wise, harmonized is actually 3068 per square feet. And if I'm going to prorate the lease, actually the accepted per square feet for a resale development here is actually 3301 per square feet. In short, what I'm trying to say is, I think if Dunearn House is going to be doing an average of 3000 per square feet, it looks pretty reasonable to me. So coming to why is Dunearn House a yes for some people? I guess if you are a kiasu parent, you can't bear to let your kids sleep 1 minute less near to a lot of the schools over here like Henry Park, Nanyang. These are all not within 1 kilometer. In fact, it is only Methodist girls that will fall within 1 kilometer of this Dunearn House. I think it is a decent buy. But then again, if your main aim is to earn your next house here, if we think about it, there are many properties that is not within 1 kilometer of a lot of the top schools. We know the familiar Treasure, Park Asta, they are just near normal schools, but they earn crazy kind of money. So if your aim is actually to earn your next house over here using the profits that you may earn from Dunearn House, I'm not so sure if this is really your best fit. Alright, number 2. Who is this property for? Definitely for people who love your MRT. It is only a 4-minute walk to 6th Avenue. Yes, I know it's not connected, but brothers and sisters, it's only a 4-minute walk. And you also have your Circle Line as well. Alright, let's take a deeper look at this downtown line. My client who stay in Bukit Timah say that this is the lifesaver. Do you know why this is the lifesaver? If today you were to be staying at 6th Avenue, right, it will barely only take you 20 minutes and you will actually hit the CBD district. It's only a mere 9 stop. So every day where he's staying is actually Maplewood. He will just take 9 stop down, up and down, and he is at the doorstep of his property already. It will also be very near Cross Island Line. If you would to be starting your journey at the King Albert Park 222, it will actually bring you to the Thomson area in just 2 stops. In fact, be in Tampines in barely just 6-7 stops down the road. I thought this is really convenient and it cut down a lot of traveling time. Third reason why this is a yes, because you are in the exciting new township. This third city is finally going to happen. You will be the first piece over here nearest to the MRT, and check it out. There are actually 20,000 homes that is planned for this third city. If we will take a look at this whole Bidadari estate, I think you all have probably learned a lot more about transformation today. You will realize that we are actually at the completion stage of the downtown line, and we are definitely moving to stage 3, which is the infrastructure stage, and you are the first piece over here. So usually this will mean that it will be a huge translation into huge profits for your pocket. Number 4, why Dunearn House? Dunearn House, would you earn your next house here? Got chance lah, got chance. Why is it got chance? Now, if you take a look over here, right, actually dig out all the land bid that have happened in this Bukit Timah area. If you take a look, Dunearn House came in at 1410. The last piece of land which was in this area, let's take a look at even like 4th Avenue, right? The land price is even much higher than this Dunearn House, because one of the reasons for Dunearn House, developer came in at a period where they are still a little unsure, because if you take a look, 4th Avenue, people paid 1540 for it, and a lot of the other developments like Juniper, although they are freehold, the land bid was almost 1,008 to 1,009 for even your Royal Green. So Dunearn House land bid is really exciting. If the developer is going to price it sensitively, I think there is money to be earned for consumer. Let's take a look at the summary again. Dunearn House, I expect that the average per square feet to be selling at 3,045 per square feet. The second land bid in this area came in at 15% premium. If I were to load 15% to the selling price, that will translate to 3,510 per square feet. And Newton paid actually 29% more. Newton, I expect it to be doing an average of 3,009. So if you want a piece of Bukit Timah all the way to Newton, can you imagine you're paying almost 1,000 PSF lower compared to the next 2 pieces of land? Who are the people who will not look at Dunearn House? If you are so sensitive to the size of your floor plan, the moment you hear 1,002 for a 3-bed and you will freak out, so freaking small, then baby, this is something you cannot really accept, because I understand you. Let's take a look back at history. If you were to look at the 1980s, that was a time where you easily had super big houses. Any average size of 3-bed over here will be 1,008 square feet. You have properties like your Hillcrest Arcadia, which is considered a little bit old today. So moving along to the 2000 period. That was where 3-bed average size was 1,004. You have your places like Thomson 800, which today the prices is trending at about 3.2 mil. And then when we move on to the 2010 to 2022 period, this is where you have your 3-bed further shrinking to 1,002. I know, now you feel, huh? A 3-bed is 870. If you cannot accept it just by looking at the size, then perhaps this may not be so for you. But let's take a closer look. Is the space really so useless and inefficient? So I'm going to take, for example, one development which is Shelford Suites. Let's take a look at Shelford Suites. This is actually the floor plan for Shelford Suites. The moment you come out of your private lift, you have your living greeting you, which is not too bad. You have a balcony. And then the moment you walk into your master, I'm not so sure if it's a good idea to have a balcony also in the master. General feedback in the resale market, they always tell me why must have so many balconies. Alright, and then after that you have to go a long corridor to your bedroom 2 and bedroom 3. Oh my god, and check out bedroom 2. Bedroom 2 only can put a single bed. And if that is not enough, they still give you a balcony. Sorry, this is too hilarious to me. They still give you a balcony at your bedroom 2, and the other bedroom must have another balcony. I don't know, is it in the past people like balcony a lot? Yeah, so this size is actually 1270, but how much of it is actually real usable space? If I were to take away all your extra balcony, take away all your aircon ledge, do you know that the real space is only 1050 square feet? Today, even if you have a 3-bed which is 900 square feet, that is excluding your aircon ledge. So think again, do we really need super big size on paper, but it's not efficient at all? Next reason, you will not accept Dunearn House because for the obvious reason, it is not freehold. But do you really need freehold? Let's take a look at the performance of freehold the last 10 years. Very good. Last 10 years, freehold development has gone up 77%. But make a guess, for leasehold property, the last 10 years, it has gone up 120%. So 120% and 70%, you make the decision which one you prefer. Coming closer, let's take a look at freehold development, which is Pullman. Highest profit earned in this place is 700 over 1,000. And let's move on to Copa. Copa, highest the profits earned is 698,000. Maybe you lose really a little bit if you were to enter 99 year, but I think it also means that you have to come up with more money if it's actually a freehold land. But as of now, there's no freehold new development that you can consider, and if it should happen, chances are it will be a small development because it's so difficult to unblock freehold land in prime areas now. Alright, the third reason who Dunearn House is like for. I think the selling point they're trying to tell you is you come over here, you have your green, you have the Bukit Timah greens and all that. Honestly, I'm not so sure do we really have this all the time. Because if you think about it, Dunearn House actually faces, first of all, it will be facing the road. The second facing will actually be the Turf City. But remember the master plan that I showed you earlier, it will be all your residential and all the developments is going to be happening behind, which is your Turf City. I'm not so sure will we have this forever unblocked view all the time from the front and the back. So I leave this to you. If today you are entering Dunearn House because you must have view, then there's only one appropriate facing that you should be aiming. Let's take a deeper look at this development. For Dunearn House, the plot ratio is actually 2.4. We can actually build up to level 24, which in this development, the highest floor level is actually 19. And if we look at just the plot of land, which is going to be behind Dunearn House, if the plot ratio is going to be 1.6, that will be at most 12 floor. I would not say that you have all your views all the time, but it's not going to be humongously blocked. If you'd like to have a better idea what's the best stack, where is the sweet spot here, there is a good blend of your money and also the views, feel free to contact me at this number over here. And at this point, I would like to ask you to hit the like and subscribe button. And the last reason who this is not for, you will belong to the camp that you feel that there's going to be a lot of construction, a lot of traffic over here. The traffic I can't really help you because all the school zones are over here. If you have to be out in the morning, you will be stuck in traffic a little bit, especially near the schools. But with regards to the construction, does it mean that if you go into the area whereby they are having a lot of new piece of land and there will be construction noise happening all the time, does it mean that there's no money to be gained for you? I don't really think so. Why? Because if you were to take a look at Lentor Modern, which is the first piece that is happening in a place where there are many other pieces happening in Lentor, today if you take a look at Lentor profitability, I think it's decent. So if you are here to consider earning the capital to buy your next bigger house, maybe we do not have to say absolute no just because that there will be construction noise. So in conclusion, these are my yes and these are my no. So is Dunearn House a yes or a no for you? Do let me know more about it in the comments below, and I'll be happy to show you more about Dunearn House. Do contact me at this number.